delicious food options.
Live from Imperial Place tonight, this is Dolynny TV bringing you Game 4 of the Best of 7 Battle of Lakeland NEAJBHL First Round Series for 2018. A matchup that's been close all the way through. You go back to game number 1, game 1, a 6-3 final in favor of the St. Paul Canadiens. That, a story of 3 quick goals early on in the first period, got the Canadiens out to that 3-0 lead, and they cruised on from there. A scary few moments in the early parts of the second period where the St. Paul Canadiens kind of came out. They had the lead, they came out a little bit flat, gives up 2 right quick, and it was a 3-2 game, and then it progressed from there into a 6-3 final for the St. Paul Canadiens in game 1. Game 2, it was as tight as she could ever be. 2 goaltenders going shot for shot, is essentially, if you want to go that way, as goaltenders were able to battle each other to a 2-2 overtime game in which Evan Feehan picked up a feed cross ice from Denny Cantel from his own blue line for the Cold Lake Ice. Feehan would feed it across to Henderson. Henderson would go back to Feehan, who got a half clap on net, and she squeaked through for the game-winning goal in overtime. That tied the series at 1-1 apiece for the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Canadiens. Then you come back up on the Monday Family Day, and on Family Day, the Cold Lake Ice welcoming the St. Paul Canadiens to their barn for the first time this year. And it was a, thank you for that, a wild affair, a 2-1 hockey game, pretty much until the dying minute, and then you got an empty netter for the St. Paul Canadiens, and the Canadiens take essentially a 2-1 game, 3-1 over top of the Cold Lake Ice on the ice, home ice. So now you want to talk about some scenarios here. The Cold Lake Ice have a win on the road, a loss on the road, and a loss at home. The St. Paul Canadiens have a win at home, a loss at home, and a win on the road. So if you want to take how that all shapes out through 3 games, you may think the Cold Lake Ice may really want to get this one and keep the trend going, or the trend may be busted and maybe a 3-1 lead for the St. Paul Canadiens after Game 4 here tonight at Imperial Place. Of course, game time about 1:30 away. We'll have O Canada, the opening presentations and all that, as I'll take a sip here. And we'll get down to puck drop in about, depending on how long O Canada takes tonight at Imperial Place, I'd go about 6-7 minutes from now will be game time here on Dolynny TV. Of course, Tyson Olney joining you alongside for this one. We'll give it a go on play-by-play tonight. Let me know how it goes on your guys' end. We'll try and get the clock in there. I'll make sure to give you guys the update on the time. And notables in the lineup for Cold Lake. I do not have any lineup changes for St. Paul tonight, but in the lineup as affiliates tonight for Cold Lake would be number 3 Noah Cook and number 9 Tanner Barnes. Both affiliates, there come out the Cold Lake Ice, and the St. Paul Canadiens not too far behind them, as it looks like it will be number 35 and number 35 in net. It's a battle between Davis and Sheeler once again tonight for both teams. Davis in net for the St. Paul Canadiens and Nelson Sheeler in net for the Cold Lake Ice. So it's going to be an absolute rematch of what you saw in Game 3. Remember, it was essentially a 2-0 game for the St. Paul Canadiens. Cold Lake had one called off due to the whistle going prematurely, so it could have been 2-2. It ended up being 2-1, and then a 3-1 game due to the empty netter. We'll step aside here for O Canada and be back in a few minutes. it's game time at Imperial Place here in Cold Lake. Game 4 between the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Canadiens. The Canadiens lead the series 2-1 after a Game 3 victory here in Cold Lake. It appears it'll be the big lineup for the St. Paul Canadiens tonight. Dyson Roy, Zach Bendel, and Braden Burak getting set to do battle against Evan Feehan, Denny Cantel, Jean-Guy Beauvert, Jake Bartman, and we're looking like, hold on, who am I missing out there? I can't seem to see someone. It looks like Bray Howitt will be up front for the Cold Lake Ice tonight. That's why I couldn't make it through. And it's going to be Bray Howitt on a wing with Jean-Guy Beauvert and Evan Feehan to start this game. Battling, of course, up front, Dyson Roy, Braden Burak, and Zach Bendel. Now that I'm less turned around, let's get to puck drop. Referee to center ice. Jean-Guy Beauvert against Braden Burak in the face-off dot. Burak loses that one, and it's all the way back to Bartman in his own zone. He'll go back around behind the net. That's Cantel chipping it to Feehan. Feehan takes the hit, gets it back to Cantel behind the ice net. Bartman, far side, goes across, and it's tic-tac to Jean-Guy Beauvert, and he's away for a skate. It's 2-on-1 Lonsberry back for the Canadiens, and it's an easy shot for Jean-Guy Beauvert, but an easier steer away for Michael Davis. Puck alongside the near side wall. Braden Burak trying to work it out. Bray Howitt turns it over, fires a shot far right of the net, and Denny Cantel will retrieve it at the blue line for the ice. Chip down in front to Bray Howitt. Howitt can't get in, and it's Dyson Roy away for the St. Paul Canadiens. Pardon me, it's going to turn me around all night. Braden Burak gives chase into the corner, and that's another hard effort by Jake Bartman to keep that puck off the stick, and Bailey Lonsberry will chip it down. Bartman again giving chase in his defensive zone. The Canadiens control down low. Burak around to Dyson Roy. It'll go onto the stick of Bray Howitt, who gets taken out by Roy. A fired shot up top over the net by Alex Astasavich, and it's down the ice. And Michael Davis will come out to play it on the icing. 18:53 to go in the first period, a fast period already. You see a lot more speed out of both teams than you did in Game 3. Game 3 was a 3-3 nights, so it's a tough go for both teams when you got 3-3 nights. You start out hot, Game 1, Game 2, and then Game 3, the legs are a little bit tired. The face-off won by the Cold Lake Ice cleanly that time. And Bartman actually ends up losing it alongside the near side or far side wall. Ori Wood will retrieve it for the St. Paul Canadiens. He'll go up to Tyrell Bork. Bork will fire it back around to Aaron Gagne. It's the 7-8-9 line. Gagne gets rocked by Bray Howitt. Howitt already imposing his physical force out there. Cantel gives chase, and he'll try and get this out of the zone. He gets it up, but again turned over there by Tyrell Bork. He'll go across. That may be a turnover right onto the stick of Colton Buckta, who takes a funny hop off the linesman's skate, and it'll be up to Tyrell Bork, who just barely chips it into the Cold Lake Ice zone. Bork now on the turnover. Bork fires a shot off the pads, a Sheeler, and into the corner for Aaron Gagne. Gagne steers a shot on net, but that one goes off the pads once again. Bork alongside the near side corner. That's up and out of play. 18:05 to go in the first period in a scoreless game between the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Canadiens. Both teams getting going. The legs are fresh tonight. Junior B, it's a lot of, it's all about your rest, and I mean, these boys work during the week as well, so you got to keep that in mind. Kyle Crawford against Tanner Barnes in the face-off. Scramble draw off to the left. Bailey Lonsberry fires it into Austin Power. Power goes across to his D partner, Braden Brockhoff, who finds himself back in the lineup for this game. It's back down Bailey Lonsberry, who's seen a lot of ice time early. Chips it up. Power fires the point shot. It's off the paddle and up out of play once again off the stick of Michael Davis. So it remains scoreless, 17:52 to go. Face off to the left of Davis. Both goalies sharp. Actually, that'll come to the right of Davis. They're going to call it to the right, coming from where the shot came in from. The St. Paul Canadiens win it. It'll be back, and that's Jared Mallow. Mallow returning to the lineup after a little bit of a vacation. Peter Blomberg is able to chip it down low, and that is Brandon Brockhoff, the big defenseman back there, giving chase, and the Ice come up with the puck. Colton Buckta wearing a cage in this one. Not exactly sure what happened there, maybe something to practice. Fired on shot by Blomberg, but he gets rocked by Austin Power, and the shot goes up out of play. A lot of pucks finding the netting in this one early, as both goalies, like I said off the top, it's going to be a battle of the goalies all night. The offenses, one's got a line that clicks every single night, the other is a score by committee, and you'll see a lot of that tonight if the goalies aren't sharp, but so far they have been. Scott Thackeray takes it off the face-off. He'll go for a skate. It's 3-on-2. Again, another easy paddle save by Michael Davis, and Stephen Kufflick giving chase against Braden Burak behind the net. Chip back to the point. Noah Cook with a shot tipped in front by Stephen Kupflick. It's 1-0 for the Cold Lake Ice. On the shot from Noah Cook, it looks like Stephen Kupflick got the tip. And tally up the score for the Cold Lake Ice to open this one. They get the goal to open it up this time, and it's not going to be called off. They go right back to center ice. 1-0 on the Stephen Kupflick goal. 17-12 to go in the first period of play, and the Cold Lake Ice have struck. Puck one off the face-off, kind of scrambled. And Scott Thackeray once again picks it up offside, but luckily gets it back on. There's Jonah Henderson. Henderson chips it up, and that will go into the corner. Thackeray back to the point. Cole Greenwood. Greenwood fires it. Another tip. So the Ice looking for the tips early in this one. As Kupflick gives chase, but it'll be found by McIsaac. Cole McIsaac gets it up to Aaron Gagne. Gagne will cut across, and he'll go in, fire a shot off the back of the net. Gagne gets taken out, and it's kind of a mass collision zone behind the net. The Ice chip it. That's Connor Landry, who also finds himself back in the lineup for the Ice tonight. 1-0 for Cold Lake if you're just joining us. As I will also make sure to get that Twitter update out and hopefully not miss too much of the game. Noah Cook gives chase in his own zone. He's got the puck. He'll fire it up to Bryce Schulteis, the assistant captain for the Cold Lake Ice. He can't make the play, and it's turned over. The St. Paul Canadiens fire one on net. That was Tyrell Bork. He missed wide. Nick Lawson back in the lineup. Of course, he missed game one, but he's been out there every game, or game one and game two, I believe, but he's been out there ever since. Noah Cook in his own zone looking for a pass. He's got one, and it looks like Ethan LaRocque's off to the races until Nick Lawson is able to poke check him there. Kyle Crawford gives it, goes to Peter Blomberg. Blomberg gives chase against Bartman. Bartman's got the wheels and is able to get it across to his D partner, Cantel. Turned over there by Sean Green, and Peter Blomberg, if he could connect with the hit, I'm sure he'd be a little wrecking ball out there, but he hasn't been able to connect with too many this series. Back behind the Cold Lake Ice net, and 15:31 to go in the first period. Cantel will work it up to Ethan LaRocque. LaRocque takes a spill. Looks like the blades might have been a little bit dull on that one. That's a little bit of a spill for sure. And we've got a call coming. Looks like they're calling it. Missed that as I went down to bend all my water, so it's like an icing call for the Cold Lake Ice as they get a chance for an offensive draw here. Austin Power will skate in, take the long approach, far point, cut in, and Kyle Crawford able to scramble it to his partner there, Bailey Lonsberry, but it bounced off the boards. Shot on Davis off the blocker. In there is Alex Savage with his partner Bailey Lonsberry. Back to the point. Brokaw fires a shot. It's blocked in front, and there goes Kyle Crawford. He'll give it into the corner, and Nelson Sheeler almost caught off guard by that puck coming out of the corner. Dyson Roy almost had an opportunity, but it's the Ice back the other way. Ray Howard will chip it in straight directly on Michael Davis, and Bailey Lonsberry will fire it back. It's battled along inside the near side wall at the point. Brokaw keeping it in, and Jean-Guy Beauvert is unable to get it off the stick of Alex Savage. The big defenseman, number 27 for the St. Paul Canadiens, works it up to the captain, Dyson Roy. Roy will look for the tip. Oh, ass to Savage. Almost had it right in front through the 5-hole. Sheeler didn't even have to make a save. It looked like Bendel with the shot, and right onto the stick of Burak. Burak to Roy in the corner. Jean-Guy Beauvert battles him, but the strong captain for the St. Paul Canadiens able to get it back to the point. Jean-Guy Beauvert looking for the breakout, and he's off to the race if he can beat Bailey Lonsberry. Only Lonsberry back. Jean-Guy Beauvert turned away by Michael Davis, and then Beauvert goes in after Lonsberry. And Lonsberry, he likes to dust it up. That was actually Evan Feehan going after Lonsberry, but Lonsberry's headed to the box, so he didn't want to head out after heading to the box on this one. I'd like to welcome you guys to Imperial Place. 13:56 to go in the first period. It's a 1-0 game for the Cold Lake Ice on a point shot from Noah Cook. Looked to be tipped in front by Stephen Kupflick. No official word, I don't believe, on that. Did we get? The Ice anyhow lead 1-0 with 13:56, and the St. Paul Canadiens are onto the power play, or penalty kill, pardon me, in this first period. too sure. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion. 2 referee system, 2 linesmen for the playoffs. Of course, it's been a 3-man system all year in the NEAJBHL, and then for playoffs they switched to the 4-ref system. So it's like they're taking Cameron Potter to serve a misconduct for Bailey Lonsberry. So add on 2 and a 10 possibly. We'll wait on the exact call there. Face-off won by the Cold Lake Ice. It's across to Denny Cantel. Cantel sets up in his spot, as Cantel's had 1 goal from that exact spot this series, but not able to get another shot there. Cantel gives chase. The St. Paul Canadiens desperately trying to get into the zone. They do, and Ori Wood will go for a little bit of a skate to try and pressure Nelson Sheeler into turning over the puck. It's right to Jake Bartman, so Bartman doesn't have to make too many quick decisions. Ori Wood just hanging out in the high slot. Cantel across, but there's a man across the blue line, and they're going to call that offside. That was an easy offside not to miss there. So the Ice offside on their power play. They got 1:28 left in the penalty that went against Bailey Lonsberry. So they've got a $1:28 of power play time to work with. Face off to the right outside of the St. Paul Canadiens zone. They're going to call that face off again. And we're now seeing what we saw in game 2, a lot of whistles early that prevent the flow of the game from getting going. So they're going to call in Dyson Roy to take the face off on this penalty kill. Cold Lake Ice win it back, but Braden Burak pressuring. Denny Cantel able to just flip it up to the weak side, and Donovan Bebo there takes 2 contact, and it's now Buckta with Tanner Barnes. Buckta fires it up over top of the net. Burak against the far side wall. It's 4 guys battling for it. Cantel's the man who picks it up and gets it down into the corner. Tanner Barnes looking for an option in the slot. He has to turn back. Burak right on him. It's Bartman. Bartman from the point, he'll work in. Now he's got a couple of options. He'll go right back behind the net. That's Colton Buckta. We're in the cage, as I said, for the Cold Lake Ice. Buckta in the corner, he'll walk out. Davis able to steer it away from his crease. It's Bartman back into the corner, and Bartman up high. Across to Cantel. Cold Lake Ice setting up the methodical play that they scored on. That time Bartman can't get the tip from Barnes. Now it's Bebo alongside the near half wall. He'll fire a shot right into the chest of Michael Davis, and another save. Palliot, another big save for Michael Davis. And things continue to go Davis's way in this series. I mean, yes, sure, he led in a goal, but both goaltenders outstanding in this one, and that is no understatement by any side. Austin Power at the point after the face-off win. Ray Howitt now on the point for this power play unit. 24 seconds left. Power with the clapper, but it's again gloved by Michael Davis. Tally another one in the column. Steady Eddie back there for the St. Paul Canadiens, and Nelson Sheeler's gone a few minutes without seeing action, as he should on the power play. And you know, the next time he's tested, he'll be just as good as Davis has been on this penalty kill. Lawson will fire it up the boards, and Power's there to meet it. Thackeray chips it into the slot area, and it's Zach Bendel picking it up. He'll look for Aaron Gagne. Gagne out there on the penalty kill in these dying seconds. 9 seconds to go. Bendel racing in there. He's unable to get it. And Sheeler able to just calmly play it to his defenseman. I believe that's his defenseman. I hope it's his defenseman. No, it's Henderson. Henderson gets it up to Kuflick. This is the line that was out there when they scored, other than the defenseman, Noah Cook. Howitt back and into the slot. Kuflick looking for a goal, but easily cross-checked by Cole McIsaac to break up that opportunity. Bendel up, and it's Spork and Gagne colliding big time at the blue line. That's a rough goal, and then it goes off the helmet of Thackeray. A weird sequence right there. Aaron Gagne still looking for that puck, kept in by Jared Mallow. They're going to call it offside. And Bray Howard will go for a skate, turn back to Scott Thackeray. Thackeray has a bounce off his stick, but he'll get it through the neutral zone. And up to number 16, the defenseman for the Cold Lake Ice, Cole Greenwood. Greenwood takes contact from Alex Savage, and the St. Paul Canadiens try to work it out from behind their own net. It's turned over again at the near side blue line. They have not been able to get through that area on the Cold Lake Ice, have the St. Paul Canadiens tonight. Cole Greenwood now in his defensive structure, battling off 2 St. Paul Canadiens, gets help from Connor Landry. And it's Greenwood and Landry bang alongside the wall, but it's Peter Blomberg coming out with the puck. As Savage claps one, keeps that one down. He's the teammates will make fun of him on that, having a difficult time keeping the slap shot down at times. But that one down on net like it should have been. Battle alongside the far side wall in the Cold Lake ice zone. Alex Savage looking for an option. He's got one. Cameron Potter just misses that one by a couple inches. It probably would have been a pad save from Nelson Sheeler. Nonetheless, it would have been a shot on net for the St. Paul Canadiens. Cole Greenwood now working the puck up into Canadiens territory. There's Savage picking it up behind his own net after the chip in from Greenwood. It'll go down the ice. Connor Landry looking for it, and I don't see an icing warning. So Connor Landry will have to play it, and he's going to just ice. It looks like they got to change off in time. So Cold Lake Ice will take the face-off in their own zone with 10 minutes. We got exactly 10 minutes on the board in this first period in a 1-0 game for the Cold Lake Ice. Face off to the left and Nelson Sheeler. Burak in there to take it. It will be Jean-Guy Beauvert taking it for the Cold Lake Ice against Burak. Two very skilled face-off men in this league. It's chipped up to Feehan. Feehan will jump it, and it looks like Noah Cook. Noah Cook once again takes a big hit. You'd remember in Game 3, he got absolutely leveled. I was talking to him pregame. A lot of people made a lot of that hit, saying what have you about it. But talking to Noah Cook pregame, he had nothing but smiles. It was a highlight for him and a highlight for the other guy. All around a good time. Hey, he got destroyed. The other guy got a big hit. What do you say about it, right? So that was a little enlightening of a moment from the Cold Lake Ice youngster, but in Junior B, it takes all kinds. Media timeout. Recap on what's going on. As it's a 1-0 game for the Cold Lake Ice over top of the St. Paul Canadiens. The Ice have a goal from Stephen Kuflick on an assist from Noah Cook in this one. It's been a fast-paced game, that's for sure. Both teams have had good chances. Of course, the Cold Lake Ice, the only power play so far, so they've had a little bit more pressure on Michael Davis than the St. Paul Canadiens have had on Nelson Sheeler, and that's one thing if you're going to knock the St. Paul Canadiens is penalty trouble in comparison to the Cold Lake Ice, who were the least penalized team in the league this year. So you got two teams with two different styles of play, and you've seen it already early on in this one. As the Canadiens have leveled a couple big hits. Shot on net by Bendel off the pad of Nelson Sheeler. So Sheeler once again tough in his own crease. And like I said, I cannot state it enough times over and over how good of a goaltending matchup this is in the NEAJBHL. I don't think it gets much better than this. There's a hot kid in Wainwright, but you've got two of the best in this series. Evan Feehan claps it in on net. And Michael Davis, an easy glove save, quick whistle, stops that puck. And we got a little bit of a chat between Bray Howitt and Cole McIsaac. Refs are right in there. A little face wash from McIsaac, and Bray Howitt trying to stir the pot early. 9:15 to go in this first period of play. 1-0 for the Cold Lake Ice. Both men are going to head off. Looks like unsportsmanlike against both guys, so they're going to continue their chat in the penalty box if the timekeepers will let them. We'll find out. Can't really see too much going on down there. Not a really good view. But either way, we have a face-off to the right of Michael Davis. Cold Lake Ice get the advantage of the zone face-off. No penalties up on the board. It's offsetting minors for unsportsmanlike. Face-off won by the St. Paul Canadiens. They work it out into the neutral. Alex Savage going for a skate. He does this best. Fires it just past the glove of Nelson Sheeler, but it's out of the net. Tyrell Bork back on D for Asta Savage. Buckta trying to skate around him. Bork does his job and knocks Buckta off the puck. Mallow there. Mallow behind the Canadiens net, plays it to his partner. Asta Savage will go up. Torrey Wood. Torrey Wood takes a cross check from behind, and Tanner Barnes almost fed it to the far side for Colton Buckta. Torrey Wood will turn it up, and the Ice able to keep the St. Paul Canadiens offside. And it remains 1-0. Oh, here we go. Buckta and Borg getting into it a little bit. As Bork is usually a goal scorer when he gets the chance to shoot, but he's been mixing it up a little bit more in games 3 and 4. And I guess if you want to say it's playoffs, I've talked to head coach Joe Young about this. If you want to say it's playoffs, everybody's got to step outside of their normal comfort zone. Greenwood on the face-off win for the Cold Lake Ice. It's up to Scott Thackeray. Thackeray in the neutral zone. He'll fire it in. It's right on Davis. It's up. I'd say that was out of play. Maybe the netting just moving off of the glass. And the St. Paul Canadiens are back the other way. Sean Green, who's had a fight in this series, something he hadn't done all regular season. Like I said, talking about things not normally happening. It's happened in this series. Sean Green gives chase. Scott Thackeray around to Stephen Kuflick. Kuflick able to battle Nick Clausen off the puck, and it's up to Thackeray. It's one-on-one. It's Thackeray against Burak. Thackeray with a shot, but it's skirted wide by Burak, and the Cold Lake Ice are once again in tough, but the St. Paul Canadiens at their near side blue line able to get it out that time. They've had troubles in this game with that. Sean Green chips it back to Clausen. Clausen will fire it up the boards and up to Kyle Crawford. Kyle Crawford, I always want to call him by his nickname, but I know that's not live stream appropriate. Dyson Roy into the corner. He'll get it back to Zach Bendel. And Bendel loves to shoot from there. He takes a hard dump from Bryce Schultheis, but it's an easy save for Nelson Sheeler. And again, we remain 1-0. Sheeler doing a phenomenal job when he's been tested so far. Things are looking good. Hold on, we'll turn down the mics as the old in-audio rink announcer gets it going for the crowd here in Cold Lake. Face off to the left of Nelson Sheeler here. Braden Burak, Dyson Roy, Zach Bendel out there for the Cold Lake Ice. It's Connor Landry, Ethan LaRock, and Bryce Schultheis up front for the Cold Lake Ice. And Zach Bendel looking to juke and dive, and almost gets Jared Mallow jumping up in the play in the slot. Mallow takes contact from Schultheis, a former teammate, and it's turned over at the line. Burak able to keep it in. Not for long as it's up into neutral zone, and everybody kind of crumpling on top of Alex Savage there, and it's across over to the far side in front of the Canadiens bench. Ethan Rock fires it in. Easy little paddle save for Michael Davis, who just waits for the St. Paul Canadiens to get out of their own zone. Dyson Roy up, and Savage will be offside. They will call that offside. It was tight. It was right up against the boards. And it was a stick flick to keep that puck in, and it did not work for Asta Savage. He's got a couple of words to say for the refs, and Connor Landry maybe in particular, as they're smiling a little bit at each other. Maybe watch that later on in this game. Things have gotten heated in this series at times. There's Bendel and Landry skating to the bench together having a good chat. The linesman has to go in and break that up. Face off one back by the St. Paul Canadiens. It's fired around to Nelson Sheeler. Sheeler behind his net stops it for his defenseman Brock Hall. Not Brockman, pardon me, Brock Hall. And the Cold Lake Ice are out of the zone after my flub. Clausen, after his partner as Savage gets taken out, is able to get it in neutral, and Ori Wood's going to go for a skate. Aaron Gagne barely stays onside. Wood with the shot on net. Up over top of the paddle, and Nelson Sheeler. Puck's frozen. 6:15 to go in this first period between the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Canadiens. Did not expect the score clock to look that good, but dang, does it ever tonight. Aaron Gagne against Jean-Guy Beauvert. Again, Gagne has improved his face-offs as the season has gone along. He's already a pretty good low face-off man at center for the St. Paul Canadiens. It's back in the Canadian zone. As Savage down the ice, and that will bobble all the way through the neutral zone, so it won't be icing even though it was fired in from the other blue line. Donovan Bebo will look for an option. Evan Feehan coming in, crunching there against Ori Wood. And Donovan Bebo will carry it across for the Cold Lake Ice. Back to the point, Cole Greenwood just misses the glove of Michael Davis. And it's up and out, and here goes for a skate. Aaron Gagne, who will chip it in, and he's got some wheels. Him and Jean-Guy Beauvert could go toe-to-toe, and it's Sheeler and, oh, Sheeler levels Aaron Gagne with a stick to the chest. You could see something was going to come out of that. And it was a hard whack by Nelson Sheeler to the midsection of Aaron Gagne. Don't know if it caught him where there was no protection. You got to believe Aaron Gagne felt all of the lumber from Nelson Sheeler on that one. So, We're right back where we left off, folks. The series is heating up as it has in each of the previous 3 games. It takes one little thing like that. I mean, that's a pretty major thing, but one thing like that, and all of a sudden you got the teams talking. Nelson Sheeler maybe getting a little bit of a penalty here. He's going to take 2 minutes for that slash. Colton Buckta will go serve it in the box. The captain picking up his goaltender, Alex Astasavich. Down near side wall to Zach Bendel. They're setting up the normal power play are the St. Paul Canadiens. Bendel the trigger man here, unless Astasavich shoots it, which he does. Denny Cantel fires it off the stick of Bendel, and it's up out of the zone, down the ice, and Astasavich will pick it up there. Scott Thackeray giving him a battle, but Astasavich, the much bigger man, they're able to knock Thackeray off the puck. Up the ice comes Zach Bendel. He'll deke and dodge, and he's going to one-hand this puck into the zone. And it's past Astasavich at the blue line, so the Canadiens reset on this power play. 1:22 to go, 4:48 left in the first period. 1:19 now in the penalty to Nelson Sheeler, served by Colton Buckta, the captain of the Cold Lake Ice. Bendel in his spot to Astasavich, tip in front, Dyson Roy scores! Easy tip in front for Dyson Roy off the stick of Astasavich. That was a slap pass. That was unlike the Cold Lake Ice goal. The Cold Lake Ice goal was a shot from the point that was luckily tipped in front by Stephen Kuflick. It may have been a routine play for the Cold Lake Ice, but they ran it nonetheless, hoping for the tip, whereas this was definitely a set play from the St. Paul Canadiens. The tip was the purpose. So 1-0 goes to 1-1 between the St. Paul Canadiens and Cold Lake Ice in this game for Battle of Lakeland. And it's won back by the St. Paul Canadiens. We've got, once again, a game. Both goalies been beat once, so the goalies are right back to even on this. Don't have the shots up to date, don't have a pen even on me to tell you anything. So Dyson Roy gets the goal for the St. Paul Canadiens. Jean Guy Beauvert is offside, and Astasavich and Bendel get the assists for the St. Paul Canadiens. So big guns scoring in this one. Stephen Kuflick in the second half of the season really come of age, I don't know what you would say in terms of a season, but Stephen Kuflick, he's been a contributor for the Cold Lake Ice for some years now, but he all of a sudden comes around and really lights it up in the second half and gets up on the scoring sheet for the Cold Lake Ice, and he gets one in this game. Dyson Roy, the big gun for the St. Paul Canadiens, gets the other answering marker, and we're back to 1-1. Brendan Brockhoff at the point. He'll play it, tick and tack with Nick Clausen off the pads of Michael Davis. It's Kyle Crawford. And again, Kyle Crawford's going to get me all night. Forgive me on that one. A little bit too much joking going on there in the locker room. Peter Blomberg giving chase. Nick Clausen fires this puck down the ice. It's going to evade everybody. So that was a power play marker for the St. Paul Canadiens. Pardon me, that Dyson Roy marker that made it 1-1. After a penalty to Nelson Sheeler for a slash on Aaron Gagne. Bray Howitt picks it up out of his own zone. There's 3 defensemen on the ice, but one is a forward, and that is Bray Howitt tonight. Austin Power looks it, finds it in his skates, and he'll move it up the ice, fire it up, and down the ice. Michael Davis just lets it go on by for icing. And we are going back to the clock, 3:07. I want to make sure the clock gets in there because I don't want to lie to you when it comes to the time. 3:07 to go in this first period, as it's been a faster one than we've seen. Game 2, second half kind of got slow. Game 3 was pretty slow. This one's right back to where we were in Game 1. I'm sure another big thing like what Sheeler did to Gagne will have a little bit of fireworks, without a doubt. Puck kind of chips right in front of the changing Cold Lake Ice bench, and the St. Paul Canadiens are able to capitalize it. Tyrell Bork just content to chip it in. Aaron Gagne back out there. Didn't take him long. 4 minutes? He takes a big hit, so he's right back in the game. Scott Thackeray chips it up, and this one's going to give Jared Mallow a little bit of a test. He turns it over to Stephen Kuflick. Scott Thackeray trying to keep it onside. Chips it in just before crossing the blue line. Alex Astasavich on his stick. And Jonah Henderson is able to knock it free, but Astasavich strong and will chip it into neutral. Cole Greenwood picks the puck up, and he'll go across to Noah Cook. Noah Cook, he hasn't been out in a little bit due to that penalty against Nelson Sheeler. Jared Mallow picks up the puck, and he'll turn around in his own zone, leave it right there. Nice little set play to Zach Bendel. And Alex Astasavich goes across to Bendel. Dyson Roy can't get past Noah Cook, the affiliate for the Cold Lake Ice. Jonah Henderson carries it in. He'll rip the shot, get taken out by Jared Mello, but the shot is saved by Michael Davis. Ethan LaRock up to Braden Burak. Cole Greenwood chips it in. He was at the blue line. He was already in the zone. It wasn't a real chip in, just had to, no real option, and had to chip it into the corner to get something going. It's up the ice. Dyson Roy misses it on the near side. That will go down for icing. $1:40 to go in this first period between the Cold Lake Ice and St. Paul Canadiens. Battle of Lakeland, game number 4. You better believe it's been a night of the goaltenders. They haven't, you know what, we haven't seen the same level of athleticism as we've seen over the goaltenders in previous nights. But again, steady eddies in net for both teams. Face off, lost by Colton Buckta. Braden Burak takes a lot of those defensive draws for the St. Paul Canadiens and wins another. The Canadiens are out of their zone. Buckta goes to level a hit. He knocks Bendel, who kind of just fell off his skates more or less. And Burak will chip it. Bendel in front. Bendel scores! Easy move. Sheeler wasn't able to react quick enough. And Zach Bendel's got it to a 2-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens. $1:23 to go. What a change of events there. Zach Bendel able to easily tuck that one home. He's a finisher, and that was a finisher's move. That's knowledge of how to put the puck in the net. 2-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens on that Bendel goal. Now, hold on, the camera fell asleep. We'll re-wake it up. There it is. We'll be back down into Canadiens territory after the goal. Bailey Lonsberry chips it along the boards. Peter Blomberg with the puck. He'll go up the ice to Kyle Crawford. Crawford and Blomberg play pitch and catch, and Blomberg gets wrecked into the boards, and the Cold Lake Ice are able to turn it back. Now it's Austin Power. He was named second team All-Star for the Cold Lake Ice in the NEAJBHL, awarded that last home game, Monday, the family day. And Kyle Crawford will chip it up and out and then get an elbow to the helmet. Not really sure if that connected head to head, just kind of rubbed off on his helmet. Jean-Guy Beauvert picks up the puck. He'll fire a shot. Easy save for Michael Davis. Bailey Lonsberry and Jean-Guy Beauvert exchanging some words behind the net, but both men will skate away from it. 36 seconds to go in this exciting first period. 2-1 for the for the St. Paul Canadiens. The Cold Lake Ice held the lead until a marker on the power play by Dyson Roy, and then another marker from the top line. Zach Bendel gets the goal, the go-ahead goal in this one. It's a scramble face-off that's put out to neutral. Cold Lake Ice hammer it back into the Canadiens territory, and now they're going to set up maybe a little bit of an attack. Turned away by the stick of Savage is Thackeray, and we're out to center where Tyrell Bork will pick it up. He'll fire a shot in on net. Sheeler content to just make the save. Not really much else on that one. Cole Greenwood up in the middle and onto the stick of Jonah Henderson. Henderson thought he had Thackeray a step to the outside. Greenwood fires it in. We're done the first period. We'll step aside and pick you back up about 2 minutes before the second period. I'm Tyson Dolynny. You're watching Dolynny TV. We'll be back.
St. Paul.
Take a breath. We're back at Imperial Place in Cold Lake. There's the St. Paul Canadiens coaching staff, 2/3, the other 2/4, a half, the math. Michael Davis in the tunnel, Ori Wood, you can see him in the background. We'll get these guys coming out. We got the Cold Lake Ice to start the game because they're at home. So we will get the St. Paul Canadiens coming out for the second period. Travis Rollheiser on your left in the dark blue coat. Head coach Joe Young in the middle. So here come the St. Paul Canadiens. The ice now on the ice. That's my favorite line to say. The ice hit the ice. 34 seconds to go before this second period gets back underway. We'll try and get the camera to work a little bit better. Of course, it's a rookie crew here. This is all new, brand new to all of us. I've done this line of work before, but nothing quite like this setup that we have going here in Cold Lake tonight. It's as best we can do it, and we'll do it even as better as we can in this second period. I hope you enjoyed that first period. It's 2-1. The St. Paul goals coming from Zach Bendel and Dyson Roy. Bendel got a gift in front of the net. Puck found his stick after an errant pass, and he tucked it past Nelson Sheeler. So can't blame Sheeler on that one, said Noah Cook in the intermission. At the other end, Michael Davis beat once on a tip on a perfect shot from Noah Cook. Noah Cook's been involved in this one. We're ready for the face-off. Let's go. Braden Burak loses it to Jonah Henderson. Henderson gets it back to Kentel, who chips it down to Davis. Davis goes around, and there we go. It is along the near side wall. Bendel will find it. There we go. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody. And we go down the ice into the Cold Lake zone. Cantel gives chase. He's got it around to Stephen Kufflick. It's chipped up and over, but that one does not go into the net. That one fooled Sheeler, that's for sure. Now alongside the near side wall. It's up, and Scott Thackeray's going to go for a skate with it if he can get past Alex Savage, but he will get a rough ride. Thackeray off his skates, and into the middle of the ice goes Savage. He'll go up along to his centerman there, Braden Burak. Burak again turned away, and it can't find its way. Both teams can't find the front of the net on the rush. Now the other way comes Jonah Henderson. He's a little bit tired. He's been out there for a full minute to start this period. Fresh legs after the intermission, but you got to think after that fast-paced first period, both teams are tired. That's an easy to call offside, man. Both players for the St. Paul Canadiens, Bendel and Roy, looked to be offside before Burak carried that across the blue line. Yep. There we go. Aaron Gagne ready to go. As we'll give some camera instructions there, and it's a defensive battle for the Cold Lake Ice to get out of their own zone. Maybe the St. Paul Canadiens will play the same style that the Cold Lake Ice played, tight points. They were really good at that where the Cold Lake Ice in the first period, especially along the near side wall in the St. Paul Canadiens zone. There comes Aaron Gagne. He'll chip it up. He took a hard whack from Nelson Sheeler in that first period. That resulted in a power play for the St. Paul Canadiens. That resulted in the Roy goal, and that tied things up between the Canadiens and the ice. Face off to the right of Michael Davis, 18:23 to go in this second period. And we'll get some tunes going. Gagne in there wins it against Jean-Guy Beauvert. It'll be played back around, but stolen by Bray Howitt off the pads of Michael Davis. That one fooled him a little bit. Davis didn't expect it to come at that angle, expected it to come, just didn't expect it to come there. However, he steers it away, and we're back behind the Cold Lake Ice net, where Cole Greenwood will fire it down and around, and it's a battle, but picked up easy by Jean-Guy Beauvert. As I lost my train of thought for a second, trying to take a sip of water, it'll be Evan Feehan up, and he'll go across, but easily stopped there by Ori Wood. Both teams kind of not too crisp with their passes in this first period. Puck to Evan Feehan. He'll chip it up into neutral, and Bray Howitt can't control it. Back down we go behind the St. Paul Canadiens net now. Up into the middle, turnover. Noah Cook will flip it to Donovan Bebo. Donovan Bebo, an even better lacrosse player than he is hockey player, fires it off the blocker of Michael Davis. We got a whistle with 17:30 to go in this second period of play. I'm glad I looked at the board because I would have said it the first period, but no, we're in the second. It's a 2-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens over top of the Cold Lake Ice. 17:30, like I said, to go in this period. Tanner Barnes, the affiliate against Kyle Crawford in the face-off dot. Crawford, well, they both tied it up perfectly. It was right in between their own skates. Denny Cantello blasts the shot, and an easy save for Michael Davis. We'll go right back to the right of Davis. The 50-50 pot sitting at about, well, what is that math out to? $365 right now. Not a bad payday for a fan on a Wednesday night at a hockey game in Cold Lake. Sean Green up the ice. He'll go to Peter Blomberg. Blomberg takes contact, falls to a knee, and loses the puck. Cantel awkwardly into the boards, and we're back the other way. Donovan Bebo dances. He gets it onto the stick of Buckta. Buckta looking for an option, takes it in front, and Tanner Barnes can't get it onto his stick. That would have been a great A scoring chance had he been able to get it on his stick. Bartman roughs out Kyle Crawford, and we'll be up. That Crawford, it'll get me all game. I promise you that. It's nothing against Kyle. It's just a little bit of locker room fun. Kyle's one of my good buds in St. Paul when it comes to talking to guys in the intermission. We're up along the wall to Jared Mallow. Mallow looking for an option in Braden Burak. Burak will turn back. He's along that near side wall now. It's up to Mallow. Mallow turns it over to Buckta. Buckta chips it, and it's, oh, look at that little soccer play by Bebo. Offside, Tanner Barnes. 2-1 it remains, 16-22 now to go in this second period. We're about an hour into this stream, and we've just hit 45 live viewers. Thank you for tuning in to this first round Battle of Lakeland broadcast on Dolynny TV, powered by, well, myself, Tyson Dolynny, and the crew here in Cold Lake tonight. Alex Astasavich will carry up the puck. He's got a wide open lane. He'll drive. Ethan Larocque slashes him on the skates, but that's not enough to stop down the smooth skating BC native Alex Astasavich. Puck flipped in by the Cold Lake Ice. Michael Davis chips it back. That could have been dangerous. There were two Cold Lake Ice players crashing, just not on the right collision course for that puck. Henry takes a high stick off the visor, now blasted by Schultheis. That puck was on edge, and Schultheis was then able to get that one on net. Now Zach Bendel has it for the St. Paul Canadiens. He gets absolutely bowled over by Austin Power of the Cold Lake Ice. And back into neutral go the Canadiens, now back into their own zone. Cole McIsaac up to Dyson Roy. McIsaac takes out Schultheis, and now Dyson Roy will pick up the puck, but again offside. Man, we've had a lot of offsides tonight in Cold Lake, and you go back to game 2, we had a lot of icings, so something that slows down the pace of play, and I'm sure both sides actually don't mind it. Sure, it blows a chance that you could have to get going, but is an extra rest in a playoff series so hard fought already at this point. Bailey Lonsberry with the puck. He'll carry it up and get a shot on net off the blocker of Nelson Schiller. Back to the point now. It's Tyrell Bork. He'll fire a shot, misses wide, and it's onto the stick of Nick Clausen. Clausen will go into the corner and unable to handle it, or he would. The 7-8-9 line out there. Tyrell Bork, oh, gift behind the net for somebody if they're looking. Cole Green comes up with the puck. Now played out by Noah Cook. Right back to the point though. Bailey Lonsberry kept it in, blasted it back corner. Nelson Schiller unable to cover it, and Tyrell Bork, nope, that's Aaron Gagne with the puck. And now the ice are away. Bryce Schultheis, or Jonah Henderson goes for a skate. Never mind, Scott Thackeray into the slot. Ice jam away at it. Noah Cook gets a whack. Stephen Kuflick gives chase along the end boards. Tyrell Bork unable to get it there, and it's back on the stick of Jonah Henderson. I should know, Henderson is one of the only Cold Lake Ice players without numbers on the sleeves of his jersey. Don't know if that's a personal choice or what by Henderson, but it's an odd look when he's the only one out there rocking that look on his jersey. Canadiens can't steer anything towards the net. It's back to the point. Jared Mallow for the Canadiens. He's got it. He'll carry it down low. Defense switch off. Aaron Gagne takes the point. Or he would for support. It'll be back to the point now. Aaron Gagne handles it. Tries to keep it in. Does. They'll rule it offside. I've been wrong 100 times already tonight, and I'll be wrong another 100 times. Actually, we'll count it about 120 more times. We got 14:02 to go in this second period. We've got just past 5:58 gone in this first period, or second period, which has been just as exciting as that first. Not as many shots, but just as many chances. Evan Feehan into the corner. He'll chip it in front, and again, a good chance, just doesn't find the stick of a Cold Lake Ice player in front. Steered away on the shot by Evan Feehan. Michael Davis not going to be beat on that half clap from Feehan. And Howitt gives chase, spears a guy right into the chest. That was Jared Mallow. Not really an intentional spear, just more of a I'm digging for the puck and you're going to feel my stick if it comes up at you. Denny Cantel at center after the puck rimmed around the boards in the St. Paul Canadiens zone. Michael Davis out to play it. Davis, you'd imagine the drive he has in, he'd never be ready for games, but the kid comes ready to play every single night, night in, night out. Donovan Bevo battling Cameron Potter. Potter hasn't seen much ice here in this second period, but it's been enough to be effective. Potter said, coming into the playoffs, I got to change my game. They get me jacked to playoffs, and I'm going to be out there making a physical impact more than I am on the score sheet. I can almost guarantee you that. That's as close to a quote as I can get you from Cameron Potter on his style of play in these playoffs for the St. Paul Canadiens. Loved, and the St. Paul Canadiens are into the neutral. Braden Burak looking for the chance. He'll dance. Dances right around Tanner Barnes. Dances another guy. Gets leveled by Austin Power. That's about Power's 5th big hit of this game. Bucked onto his stick. He's got Bevo. And Buckta and Bevo, that one will be onside. Oh, you got to watch that blue line. They've been watching them carefully of the linesman. And that one was as close to being offside. Hey, what do you know? Offside. All right, 12:22 to go in this second period between the St. Paul Canadiens and Cold Lake Ice. Video output low. Don't know why the video output is low. Hold on, we're trying to figure that out. As we'll try and get it live to the live broadcast. We seem to be having some technical difficulties. We're live, video output low, not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Not sure what's going on here in Cold Lake. We'll try and keep you up to date on the Wi-Fi situation. Everything appears to be about the same as it has been throughout the series. So not too sure what's going on there. As the St. Paul Canadiens dump it into the Cold Lake Ice zone. That's the trouble of being your own tech guy. Well, play-by-play, while also managing everything else going on with the broadcast. Cold Lake Ice out of their own zone. It's up to Stephen Kuflick. This line has the goal tonight. That is an onside play. Scott Thackeray can't seem to jam it home. We're into the yellow. This is good. All right, we're back into the green. A little bit of an interruption, but we're back in Cold Lake. We should be back to live output in no time at all. St. Paul into the Cold Lake Ice zone. Puck's just sitting kind of along that near or far side corner. Nobody really picking it up. Now behind the net, Sean Green has it. Sean Green picks it up to Alex Astasavage. Astasavage will go down and fire it to Cole Greenwood, but the puck will find itself behind the net, and there goes Noah Cook trying to get it out. Noah Cook looks like a kid out there, but man, he stands tall as man. Scott Thackeray jumping into the play, and battled there by Bailey Lonsberry. Thackeray and Lonsberry have kind of had a thing this playoffs, a little bit of a healthy rivalry out there on the ice. Back at the point, Denny Cantel, he'll fire a shot in. That'll come off the paddle of Davis after a ricochet off the end boards. Here comes Alex Astasavage, again jumping up into the play. He's going to give chase and peel off. Looked like he had a moment of hesitation, thought he was going to go for it, and then thought better of it. Bryce Schulteis doing the dirty work on what is quote-unquote the Cold Lake Ice 4th line tonight, but he's made enough of an impact that it could roll as a 3rd line. Looks like it's a penalty, delayed penalty to the Cold Lake Ice. St. Paul Canadiens are going to get another chance on the power play. They already have a marker. The Dyson Roy marker to open the scoring for the Canadiens tonight came on the power play. After that, slash by Nelson Sheeler on Aaron Gagne. Wouldn't make sense if Aaron Gagne took the slash on Nelson Sheeler and the Canadiens got a power play out of that. Hockey Knowledge 101, as I got to keep myself sharp here. In the mid-goings of the second period, 10:31 face-off to the right of Nelson Sheeler. Burak against Bovair. And Bovair lost that one, so Burak is able to set it up to Astasavage and Bendel. Bendel and Astasavage, like, you got to think, you got to have 2 men on there, but that frees up too many men in front. Puck into the far side wall. And here's a chance. Jean-Guy Bovair. Puck skates too far down. He's going to flick it into center ice. There in the slot, but it's picked up by Burak. He'll turn it back. Jake Bartman takes the penalty for the Cold Lake Ice. For what? I missed it. Too busy on that Jean-Guy Bovair chance. Back to the point. And the St. Paul Canadiens looking for that puck. Dyson Roy, again to Zach Bendel. Bendel along that far side half wall. He loves it. He absolutely loves it there on the power play. He feeds, and Jean-Guy Boisvert, get ready for a skate. Alex Savage throws him offside. Bailey Lonsberry in his own zone, picks it up, and Alex Savage with the puck now into ice territory. They let him set up the attack. Burak looking, he'll just wait it out. Cole Greenwood to a knee, able to keep Burak to the outside. Bendel to the point to Savage. Here comes the shot. Ooh. That one came up and over, and Jean-Guy Boisvert mocking Savage on that one. And imagine guys are targeting Alex Savage. He's been one of the league's best defensemen all year long. Savage, of course, came into the year from BC for the St. Paul Canadiens, went up to Fort St. John and pressed up there, even though the Canadiens really couldn't put up much of a fight against the Fort St. John Huskies. And now, leading the back end for the St. Paul Canadiens. Bailey Lonsberry behind his own net. Savage still out there on the power play. 35 seconds remain. 9:03 to go in this second period of play. As Aaron Gagne leads the charge. Tyrell Bork out there as another forward. And who was also Ori Wood. So it's the 7-8-9 line getting the power play time. Lonsberry down into the corner. Nice crisscross pass. And it's back up to Lonsberry. He needed to be the other-handedness to pick that puck up. And it's back to Michael Davis. Davis leaves it for his man in Lonsberry. Lonsberry wearing the A for the Canadiens this season. He got the Coach's Award this season, awarded by the coaching staff of the St. Paul Canadiens for just being an all-around coach's player. Tyrell Bork jams Jake Bartman out of the way, and there's Aaron Gagne giving Bartman a shove. So 2 rough shoves in front for Jake Bartman. Hey, what do you say? How about we have some playoff hockey? Once the teams stay out of the box, they're blowing the whistle. It's the media timeout. Here we go. I'm going to sit down, take a breather, give you a second to ponder what you're seeing. They're trying to call the media timeout. Are we going to get it? Aren't we going to get it? We are finally going to get it. Take a second to breathe. Take a second to sit down. Hard concrete floors in Cold Lake make for hard nights on the legs. 2-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens. 8:23 remains in this second period. 2-1, like I said, for the St. Paul Canadiens. Goals by Dyson Roy and Zach Bendel. The goal for the Cold Lake Ice, you could debate who it came from. It could be either Stephen Kuflick or Noah Cook, depending on what angle you had in this game. But I would more than likely say it was Stephen Kuflick in front with the tip. 8:23 to go as we're waiting for things to go. And let's get back to it. I'm going to stand up in about 2 seconds here. Just stretch out the legs. Scott Thackeray, Jonah Henderson, Stephen Kuflick for the face-off to the right, or to the left. I got my rights and left confused. It's been a rough night here in Cold Lake. Cole McIsaac gets the puck for the St. Paul Canadiens, and oh, what a keep-in by Brennan Brockhoff. That was a thing of beauty. Last-ditch effort behind him, got it back into the zone, gives the Cold Lake Ice a chance to get this offense set up. There's Kuflick, he's going to battle. Mallo's going to try and knock him off the puck. It's going to be Henderson. Henderson, very noticeable out there now all of a sudden. And Power chips it into the slot. Kuflick finds it on his stick. Oh, just went the wrong way. Henderson was wide open on the other side had he gone that way. Sean Green picks it up for the St. Paul Canadiens. He'll go across to Cole McIsaac. McIsaac goes up and down the ice. It hits the referee, so unfortunately not an icing for the Cold Lake Ice, who would have loved to face off in the offensive zone. Either way, the St. Paul Canadiens now get a chance to set up an attack. Kyle Crawford can't buy the pass into the slot, and the Ice are going to get up and out of there. Into the zone, Scott Thackeray gives chase against Nick Lawson. That's a dangerous proposal. Lawson is a big, big boy. Tip on by Thackeray, and Michael Davis is able to make the save.
Cold Lake Ice mini sticks up for grabs. Getting up to the loudest fans I can find it here. Make some
As we take a second here, I would love to give you guys a shout out for watching back home. I appreciate you tuning into this live stream on Dolynny TV. I'm Tyson Olney, bringing you the live play-by-play action from Cold Lake tonight at Imperial Place for Game 4. This puck up out of play. I'll continue my little spiel here about who I am, what I'm all about. And of course, we have 7:10 to go in this second period of play, 2-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens. It's been a heck of a game. It's been exactly what I built it as coming in. I don't want to toot my own horn on that one, but you gotta believe on it, right? You look at the goalies in net, you know what the score is going to be. Tight, you know the team's up front, it's going to be a battle. And we got a 2-1 game with 7:06 to go in this second period. Cold Lake Ice start back in their own zone. And Bailey Lonsberry sees that puck skirt by him. He'll flip it back up, it's right onto the Cold Lake Ice stick. Evan Feehan chips it up out of play. He'll have another face-off as things in this second period appear to be slowing down. The pace of play has been exciting. It's just a lot of face-offs and a lot of whistles that have slowed things down. Things could get wide open should teams start stretch passing, and I'm sure that might be what it takes. In Junior B, the stretch pass is one of your best friends to break a game wide open, but you don't want to get burnt on it. There's Jean-Guy Boisvert, and he's a human stretch pass. His speed, his wheels, can't find Bray Howe back door. St. Paul Canadiens turn it back the other way. Dyson Roy up the ice, and he will go into the corner. I first learned about Dyson Roy's hockey prowess back at summer camp when I was about 11 years old. Dyson's got hands unreal. You should see him warming up pregame as the St. Paul Canadiens line up alongside the near side wall. Zach Bendel goes down to Dyson Roy. Roy to Bendel. Bendel across in front. Oh, Birak could not find it quick enough. And the Cold Lake Ice turn it back the other way. Michael Davis forced to take the face off. Clausen and Howitt mixing it up. Now Lonsberry maybe says a word or two as we're about to take a break. I don't know what I'm about to say next. It's been one of those games, end-to-end action. 2-1, so she's tight as tight can be. Here comes the face-off, Connor Landry against Aaron Gagne. Gagne wins it back to his D-man, Alex Savage. The difference I make when I say Savage is Alex and Nick are two totally different people to me, and I knew Nick first. So Alex gets the old Alex Savage treatment, first and last. Tyrell Bork jamming in. Ori Wood didn't get that puck as he was requesting. Ori Wood now gets the puck, feeds it out in front to Aaron Gagne. He bore down Ori Wood over top of the glove of Nelson Sheeler. And we got a 3-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens. 5:35 to go in this second period, and we have our third goal of the night for the St. Paul Canadiens on an absolute bar down rocket by Ori Wood, breaking it open to 3-1, but a 2-goal lead in this series, I don't know. I've seen the St. Paul Canadiens do it, the Cold Lake Ice almost do it. You never know how this could fan out in this final time. And I'm just going to double check that as Alex Savage goes across. They're looking for more. The St. Paul Canadiens now might have their jets turned on. I mean, you got to look at the other side. Cold Lake, they've got one rocket on skates, and maybe it's finding him for a chance down ice. Jean-Guy Boisvert, he's a little bit of a finisher too. He's got pretty sick hands to finish off plays, so you never know what he's going to do. Here comes Ori Wood. Ori Wood's got his 7-8-9 line. Ori Wood snipes it again. Finds the far top cheddar corner, and it's 4-1 on back-to-back goals by Ori Wood with 5:05. So goals come 31 seconds apart for the St. Paul Canadiens, and you've got a 4-1 Canadiens lead. Sheeler beat high glove side twice in a row in 30-second span. And we've got a 4-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens. What a turn of events here, as I don't think you could have predicted back-to-back goals like that. But the St. Paul Canadiens, you know they'll take it. 4-1. Face off, won by Jared Mallow. Mallow across to Nick Clausen. Clausen, like I said, the St. Paul Canadiens have their jets going all of a sudden, and it's worked on back-to-back goals. Jared Mallow and the boys looking for it as Stephen Kuflick jams it out, and again, Kuflick has been great down low this game. Scott Thackeray fires it in, and oh man, Cold Lake Ice can't seem to get anything down low behind the net and sustain it. Canadiens defense has stepped up this period. There's a tripping call, and looks like it's going to go against Cole Greenwood. Or who got dumped? They're calling it against Henderson. Two ref system looking for somebody to blame. And they're going to blame Denny Cantel? Or are they blaming for this one? They're going to, hold on, I'm completely out to lunch. They're blaming Cameron Potter on this one, so the Cold Lake Ice down 4-1 after 2 quick goals in this later half of the second period will get a power play chance. The face-off coming to the left of Michael Davis. It's Burak versus Bukta. Bukta loses it, and Bailey Lonsberry will fire around the boards. Dyson Roy able to get to it, takes down Denny Cantel. So they sent out Cantel for the power play. That should make sense. He has been an effective power play player for the Cold Lake Ice all series long. Kevin Feehan back to Donovan Bebo. And it will be across to Denny Cantel, who blasted in. Point shot. Bukta can't jam it to the side of the net. They'll blow it dead, and that is going to cause some grief for the Cold Lake crowd. That puck was definitely free. And you can hear Colton Bukta, one of the most vocal voices, saying, man, why did you blow that whistle? I had a good chance. Even if I couldn't have got it, somebody else might have. Cold Lake Ice come close on their first face-off of this power play. 1:36, 4:01 to go in this second period. Colton Bukta again against Braden Burak. Bailey Lonsberry going off the ice, so it will be Jared Mallow taking over for him. Mallow, a very good shutdown defenseman for the St. Paul Canadiens. Bukta again at the side of the net, just about finds that puck for a second time in a row to jam. Now he has it behind the net. He'll go to the option man, Donovan Bebo. Bebo will look back to Bukta. Bukta is going to carry it around behind the net. Thought he was going for the wraparound there. He'll go back to the point to Cantel. Cantel will release a shot into the neck area of Michael Davis. And we got another face-off, 1:15 to go, 3:40 to go in this period, 1:15 in the power play for the Cold Lake Ice. It's been a good little power play for the Cold Lake Ice, let me tell you that much. They have really started to work the puck. All the boys on the ice are frustrated that their power play has not been clicking this season. It finished 10th in the league. So if you want to count the Saddle Lake Warriors out of the league, they finished last on the power play this season in the NEAJBHL. This power play, not an indication of that. They've had good puck movement, gotten into the net, and jammed in the dirty areas. 57 seconds to go in the penalty to Cameron Potter of the St. Paul Canadiens. And we'll have a fresh pair of defensive penalty killers for the St. Paul Canadiens, as I seem to be losing my touch in the latter half of this second period. The camera glitched out for a second. It's got a sleep mode we don't know how to turn off. Couple of glitches along the way, but we'll be fine. Dyson Roy chips down in on net. Nelson Schiller sees that one go just wide. Dyson Roy, he's had a couple of shorthanded goals. At last count, I saw 3. So he could be dangerous out there for the St. Paul Canadiens. You'd expect a 5th one may put it to bed for the St. Paul Canadiens tonight, the way this goaltending matchup goes, but anything is possible. It is junior B hockey after all. Jonah Henderson back down to Scott Thackeray. Thackeray looking to work. Henderson the blast, the drive, and it's no good. A turn away by the pads of Michael Davis. Across, Noah Cook now with the puck. He'll look back to the point. Austin Powers going to risk this shot in on net. Oh, just up and over on that tip. Noah Cook again with the puck. He sees it go up over his stick. He keeps it in just barely, and keeps it past Dyson Roy. Cross slot. Scott Thackeray sees it go off Braden Burak's stick. Penalty is now over to Cameron Potter. Got 2:19 to go in this second period. 4-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens. He'll be fired up into center ice, and Dyson Roy will go for a skate. He's got Austin Power chasing him. He'll cut, and easy pad save for Nelson Schiller. Schiller just had to send that puck out of harm's way. Braden Burak turns it back in neutral ice. He'll chip it down, and the penalty killers that were out there will go for that final change. Noah Cook. Said his name a lot. The affiliates had a good night tonight. Bray Howitt will give chase. He's that forward tonight. Normally a defenseman for the Cold Lake Ice, but he's seen a lot of time at forward when he has played this season. Changed, a big body up front. That low mean streak as well. It'll be Denny Cantel firing it in. Rough ride by number 25, Kyle Crawford. Behind the net, Fian gets it in front. Jean-Guy Boisvert tips it on if it was available for the tip, and it's 1:25 to go. We've got a face off to the right of Michael Davis. Take a breather, as we'll take a second to think things over here in Cold Lake. The face off to the right of Michael Davis. Jean-Guy Boisvert against Aaron Gagne. Boisvert wins it this time, and Tyrell Bork gets taken down. It'll be a power play for the St. Paul Canadiens. Denny Cantel, like I tried to tell you last time, is now going to skate to the box for 2 minutes, a tripping call. The Cold Lake Ice will finish this period, potentially, on the penalty kill and have 39 seconds to carry over into the third period, should they be able to keep the St. Paul Canadiens power play off the board the rest of the way home in this second period. Jean-Guy Boisvert draws in for the face-off for the Cold Lake Ice. He scrambles it up against Braden Burak. Burak, one of the best face-off men the St. Paul Canadiens have, and Jean-Guy Boisvert's done an effective job of tying him up all night long. Bailey Lonsberry gets it out, leaves it for Zach Bendel, and we got a 5-on-3 coming. It's going to be Jean-Guy Boisvert going to the box for a hook. And now, maybe you got to ask if the St. Paul Canadiens are going to be lucky to get out of here without a goal against. Cold Lake Ice. Pardon me. Face off to the right of Nelly Sheeler. Nelly, that's an affectionate nickname in the locker room. The boys love Nelly. And I'm sure Nelly appreciates everything they do for him night in, night out. And the goalie, well, you make the saves, the boys will love you very back. Alex Savage across to Bailey Lonsberry, down into the corner, Bendel across, goal. Dyson Roy, tick-tack-toe. St. Paul Canadiens strike for a second time on the power play. Dyson Roy gets the goal. And it's a 5-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens after, well, what was that? A few seconds on the 3-on-3. It took them 9 seconds on the 5-on-3 to score. 57.5 seconds to go in this second period. Yes, I could use a breather in the second intermission. This doing it without a color man is a heck of a task. It's been a while since I last did it without a color man. And man, do I miss the guys who have flanked me on my side in past previous broadcasts. So, they'll re-explain some stuff to assistant coach Ron Tremblay of the Cold Lake Ice. Tremblay, probably Tremblay. I always mispronounce names first try. It's Braden Burak. Wins, well, won it forward right onto a Cold Lake Ice stick. They'll chip it down, will Brennan Brockhoff. The chip off the stick of Davis. It'll go to Bailey Lonsberry. The building has quieted. I can actually hear my thoughts for one of the first times tonight. Alex Savage skates across. He'll get in, and there's the second power play goal. Give it a hat trick for Dyson Roy. It's now 6-1. I didn't even up the scoreboard. And 6-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens after 2 straight power play goals. Dyson Roy gets them both. So Dyson Roy on fire, getting it done. The captain leading the way. I told you right off the bat, if you were listening to the early pregame stuff I did, you wanted to look out for the big line of Bendel, Burak, and Roy, and they have struck for 4 goals. Ori Wood, the other 2 for the St. Paul Canadiens. Stephen Kuflick, the other one for the Cold Lake Ice. Ethan LaRock now chips it up, and it's not enough to get past Cole McIsaac, who fires it in off the pad of Nelson Sheeler. Bryce Schultheis works it out for the Cold Lake Ice. It's back, and Davis will tip it, but it's going to be right onto the stick of Ethan LaRock. Poke check by Cole McIsaac, and Ori Wood will take it down the ice. Wood, easy dangle off the stick, and that one almost finds its way between the wickets of Sheeler. Sheeler looks a little bit rattled. Not quite the same goalie we saw in Game 3. I mean, you can't expect the same thing night in, night out. But Nelson Sheeler still battling in there. 8 seconds to go in this second period. Face off to the right of Sheeler. Puck won by the Canadiens, dumped in. 3, 2, 1. We're done in this second period of play at Imperial Place in Cold Lake. Nelson Sheeler obviously going to skate off very quickly. And we will catch you guys in the third period. We'll step aside for the intermission. Please stick around. The third period coming up. St. Paul leads it 6-1 over the Cold Lake Ice after 2 periods of play.
So if you purchase a box
welcome back to Imperial Place in Cold Lake. It's a 6-1 game for the St. Paul Canadiens over top of the Cold Lake ice. After 2 periods of play, 2:26 to go before we get right underway for the 3rd period. St. Paul Canadiens kind of imposed their will in that 2nd period, aided by a couple of big power play goals. Dyson Roy picking up both markers. And Dyson Roy, that's where the story of the game is at. Dyson Roy and his line have 4 goals. Ori Wood, the other 2 quick snipes to really break this one open. It was 2-1. Ori Wood puts one top shelf, far down. And then all of a sudden, 3-1. 30 seconds later, Ori Wood goes top corner on Nelson Sheeler. Once again, same exact spot, just beat him on a little bit different an angle. And it's 4-1 at that point. I had to think about my math. And then Dyson Roy, 2 power play goals, quick bang bang. 5-on-3 is what resulted, so they got 9 seconds into the 5-on-3, banged it home, and then the second one came about 30-40 seconds later, and they put together a 2-goal power play. And the St. Paul Canadiens lead 6-1 after the 2nd period of play, like I said. We await. Michael Davis having a great night in net. Nelson Sheeler, not so much. We saw Matt Henwood go warm up on the ice before getting off for the intermission. So we may, once again, after 6 goals in 2 periods, see Matt Henwood come in on relief of Nelson Sheeler. Henwood himself, I will give him credit, full credit. Every other goalie in this series has gotten full credit. Henwood himself has been spectacular. He's had 1 period to play, and he has stopped every shot he faced. Now you'd say 1 period, man, he maybe faced 10 shots, but he faced a barrage of bullets in that 3rd period of game 1 from the St. Paul Canadiens. It was 6 goals already on board, and it was a solid performance by Matt Henwood, who does indeed lead the Cold Lake Ice out. We'll get a shot of Henwood in net for the Cold Lake Ice right now, but Henwood stopped 21 shots. That's the end of my story there. We shall get ready for the 3rd period of play here at Imperial Place in Cold Lake. The Cold Lake Ice obviously visibly shaken after that 2nd period. It's been a tough one. And there's Nelson Sheeler, who's just going to casually skate on out. Stephen Kufflick will get the start on the ice. Jonah Henderson having a good chuckle with Kufflick, as the mood seems to be a little bit lighter after that intermission. It looked pretty dark going to the room, but things look to have turned around a bit. And Kufflick for sure going to come out and hopefully fire it up. Kufflick lines up against Dyson Roy, left versus right. And it's Burak and Henderson in the face-off dot. Scott Thackeray able to get the puck, and he's going to go for a skate. They've got to jump right away to start this period. The Cold Lake Ice have the puck on their stick, and it's going to be batted just away onto the stick of Thackeray. Batted away by Burak. Bartman at the point keeps it in. The Cold Lake Ice have come to play this period already just in, 20 seconds of play, and they are firing right out of the gate. They are looking to take back a little bit of this lead that the St. Paul Canadiens have built. Another turnover right onto the ice stick. There's Denny Candell firing it right into the crest. The Canadiens' crest of Michael Davis. And the Cold Lake Ice have come to play in this 3rd period. You didn't think you were going to see that. But the top line for the Cold Lake Ice, ready to go for a skate, and they came prepared in the first 32 seconds. That was 32 seconds worth of pressure. And now Jean-Guy Boisvert gets a chance to fire it up for the Cold Lake Ice once again in the Canadian zone. Nick Clausen coming around. Bray Howard on that line with Boisvert, and Brockhoff just kind of stands up. Ori Wood looks worse for wear. Howard gets a chip on the blocker of Michael Davis, unable to solve him, and we'll be back into Cold Lake Ice territory. Matt Henwood, his first test is a freeze, and Austin Power comes in and bumps Tyrell Bork. That little after whistle shoves is the kind of stuff you have to keep an eye on in this early going of the 3rd period. 19:07 to go. And it's a 6-1 game for St. Paul. So Cold Lake, you know what, almost either, well, after that hot start, maybe they're not ready to write this game off yet. But if you get down to about 15, 14 minutes without any sustained pressure, maybe you write it off. But Jean-Guy Boisvert going for a skate. He's going to get handled easily by Cole McIsaac. I thought that was Nick Clausen. Both men are big on that blue line for the St. Paul Canadiens. We're going to have a holding call coming to number 13. Now it's Nick Clausen getting his name called, but he's going to the penalty box for 2 minutes, 18:49 to go. The Cold Lake Ice have come out with pressure on that top line shift for the first 32 seconds. Done enough. Jean-Guy Boisvert got a little bit of a rush going. And now they've drawn a penalty. 2 minutes to go in a power play for the Cold Lake Ice. Jean-Guy Boisvert back out there. It's the Battle of Lakeland. I can't say ill will against either team. It's just been good hockey. Even in a 6-1 game, it's been good hockey. You tip-tap a couple of goals and it gets up quick. Brayhow gives a little rough go against Bailey Lonsberry, and Noah Cook's out there on the power play. Noah Cook had the assist on the Stephen Kuflick marker. Evan Feehan will go throw it, and Cook, man, he looks very well suited to be out there on this power play. Might not have had the puck movement he wanted on that last chance, but he took it very calm when pressure came into his house. There comes Denny Cantel behind the ice net. He's going to work out 2 St. Paul Canadiens pressuring him. Cantel will go back behind his own net. There's Noah Cook just skating on by, giving him an option. Donovan Bebo, the similar thing. Cook will be the man who picks up the puck, and it's onto the stick of Captain Colton Buckta across to Donovan Bebo. Bebo able to evade the check of Jared Mallow into the slot, but it's picked up by the stick of Bailey Lonsberry. Lonsberry will go down the ice, and it's Matt Henwood. Henwood around and unable to handle that, so Bailey Lonsberry goes against Noah Cook. Denny Cantel picks up the puck after Noah Cook rocks Bailey Lonsberry. Okay, there you go. That's a matchup you didn't think was going to happen. Donovan Bebo shoots, falls into the puck, and Michael Davis the save. Back down the ice, 38 seconds to go in this Cold Lake power play. 17-24 in the game. Cole Greenwood able to move it up. He'll get it to Jake Bartman, his defenseman partner. And Bartman looking for an option. He's got one in Colton Buckta. I was going to say Tanner Barnes, but it is Buckta. I had to look at the numbers on the sleeves a little bit more carefully. Buckta is wearing that mask, or that cage, today. It's going to be Zach Bendel trying to get loose, and it's going to be a call against the Cold Lake Ice. Donovan Bebo is going to get it. He'll hit the box. That's going to be a hook. And the Cold Lake Ice find their power play disappeared. They only had 11 seconds left to go in it anyway. But now their power play is gone. It'll be skate up 4-on-4 for 11 seconds, and then we'll have a minute 49 of St. Paul Canadiens special teams time for that power play unit that's been so effective tonight. Ori Wood across, easy save by Matt Henwood. Not to be fooled on that top shot by Ori Wood. Ori Wood really likes that top corner. I don't think I've seen him shoot there that much, but all of a sudden it clicked for him this game, and he's shooting there every single chance he gets. It's now up the St. Paul Canadiens smooth skating defenseman Alex Savage across, shoots it in, and what are they calling now? They're calling her back into Canadiens territory. Take a breather. It's 16:32 to go in the third period. 6-1 for St. Paul. 1:33 to go. Bryce Schultheis loses the face-off draw on the 4-on-4 and will go behind the St. Paul Canadiens net to Alex Savage. Savage looking, he'll be glad to, hey, in a 6-1 game, I'll stand there all night, he says. He'll go back and now circles into the slot, and it's up there and Gagne. Gagne on that power play. Fires it off the glove of Henwood. Thankfully knew no pressure was coming and he could just let it go on by after hitting him. That's a risky play, but hey, when you've got junior B experience, I'm sure it's not as risky as having a guy like me or you in net. Puck chipped up to Tyrell Bork. Bork goes up and he'll skate around the net. Bork's looking for an option. He doesn't really have one, or he would. The only other man really open, and it goes past both his and Gagne's sticks. Cantel takes out Gagne and will go down the ice. Jean-Guy Boisvert giving chase to Michael Davis, not able to pressure him enough. Didn't get inside his head there to cause a turnover. Alex Savage, once again, able to skate it out of the zone for the Canadiens. Just a little bit of stick work there. Gets past Cole Greenwood. And Denny Cantel not able to get much going on the back check, but Jean-Guy Boisvert will finally fire it out and down the ice. And there is Aaron Gagne picking it up for the St. Paul Canadiens. Once again, we'll sit right behind their own net. And a little bit quicker that time than the Savage stand there last time. St. Paul Canadiens content, 6-1. They've got the lead they want, and they've got a chance to go back home tomorrow if they can hold on to this to clinch it. There's a hit in front. Dyson Roy almost gets taken out by Evan Feehan. Lost his stick. Braden Burak will pick up the puck and go to Zach Bendel. Back to the point. Bailey Lonsberry, 7 seconds to go in this power play. And Burak has it. Doesn't have a shot. Power play expires and Donovan Bevo's out of the net. He'll jump right back into play. There's a shot from the slot. Ooh, just finds its way wide of the net on a couple of deflections in front. Dyson Roy was trying to be one of them. Roy will pick it up. Can't get it going, and Bendel's shoved off the puck. We're out to the neutral. There's Bailey Lonsberry. He'll fire it up to Dyson Roy. Roy in the zone and turned back by Ethan LaRock, who knows it's going to be icing and comes to a complete stop. There we go. So it's been a night of goal scoring for the St. Paul Canadiens. Dyson Roy has 3, Ori Wood has 2, and the other marker coming from Zach Bendel. So the top line combining for 4, 3 on the power play, such as such for the St. Paul Canadiens. Stephen Kuflick has the goal for the Cold Lake Ice on a deflection from Noah Cook. Easily you could see tomorrow morning in the score sheet that Noah Cook was awarded that goal. You never know until the refs reconsider post-game. Scott Thackeray will carry it out for the Cold Lake Ice. Turned over by Cameron Potter. A nice little pickpocket. He'll go for a little bit of a skate. Matt Henwood read it absolutely perfectly there. He had the paddle down 20 seconds, it seemed, before that puck even was in the corner. And he is able to keep that one in the glove. And we've got a face-off to his right. Landry against Crawford. The lower lines are getting some playing time here. I wouldn't really call them lower lines. Everybody seems to get as much time. It just depends on who's hot. And here comes Bryce Schultheis. Schultheis down to Ethan LaRock. Ethan LaRock had a great fight against Tanner Carr. Carr still not in the lineup in this game. Imagine it was a 2-game suspension for Carr. We have not heard official word. That is just speculation. Do not take me on it. Brendan Brockhoff fires it down. And it's in, and Cameron Potter's got a chance, but he can't get by. Here's Sean Green, fires it right into the belly of Matt Henwood. And Henwood is able to keep it steered. Here's Ethan LaRock, who will just chip it off and battle it in front. Puck jammed, found by Michael Davis, who just kind of lurches onto it, and it remains 6-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens over top of the Cold Lake Ice in Game 4 of the Battle of Lakeland first round NEAJBHL playoff series. 13:28 to go in the third period of play. And we got a game coming up tomorrow in St. Paul. Same script as tonight. Let's go battle. Let's see what the goalies do. That's what it comes down to. Stephen Kuflick out there battling. He's been dangerous all game. He gets it in front. Oh, ho, ho! Man, what a chance for Scott Thackeray. It hopped up on him. It hit his shaft of his stick, not the blade. It would have been a sure goal. Tap in at the side of the net for the Cold Lake Ice. Kuflick, hey, he'll go right back to Thackeray. Don't worry about that. He's going to fire it and go down, and a tip, and it's a goal! Jonah Henderson tips it up over top of the shoulder of Michael Davis. They aren't done yet. 6-2 for the St. Paul Canadiens. Now the lead cut to 4. Stephen Kuflick, you imagine if you caught on Lakeland Connect, he was pretty in a huff in the intermission about those 4 goals. He goes out, creates something, and he's got himself his 2nd point of the night. Matt Henwood in relief already sees a goal to go up on the board. The boys of the Cold Lake Ice are back in it. St. Paul, hey, they need to keep battling out there. It's not a done game yet. I just want to see a good one. Good finish inbound for both teams, hopefully. Stephen Kuflick going to take it for another skate. This line getting hot at the right time for the Cold Lake Ice. Kuflick back behind the net. There's a shot. Jonah Henderson stopped by Michael Davis. 12:41 to go. And hey, you know what? We started the period with that Kuflick line. I told you they were going to do something this period. They look dangerous, and they're sure enough, just about 7 minutes later, they strike. They're still, it's the Buckta line with Barnes and Bevo. They're out there trying to create something. There's Dyson Roy, Buckta looking down low, but Bevo had his pocket picked by Dyson Roy. Puck along the near side wall. Bukta can't get it past Bailey Lonsberry cleanly, but Donovan Bebo going for a skate. He's used to running the length of the court here in Cold Lake for the Lakeland Heat Junior B lacrosse team. And it's along the boards. Noah Cook, hey, what do you say? He keeps it in. And Donovan Bebo will go down and around. Bailey Lonsberry chips it out for the St. Paul Canadiens. Cole Greenwood into the corner. And again, Tanner Barnes right on the puck for the Cold Lake Ice. He'll go to Donovan Bebo. It'll actually find itself all the way up to the point to Cole Greenwood. We'll just chip it in. Lucky bounce off the stick for Colton Bukta, but picked up by Jared Mallow, who will chip it up to Zach Bendel. Bendel's going to go. He's got Dyson Roy. Dyson Roy looking for number 4 tonight. Can't get that lucky as Tanner Barnes stands him up, and now Barnes and Roy engage in a little pushing and shoving, and Cole Greenwood will go find it in the corner opposite side. Dyson Roy carries it out, and he's going to carry it in, but Bukta able to steer him away, and it'll be down the ice. Here comes Bukta carrying it in on net and can't sneak it through Davis. It was open for a second. You saw as Davis was going down on that puck, it was open, but Davis is able to clamber on top of it quick enough to keep it out of the net on that second chance opportunity. It remains 6-2 with 11-11 to play in this third period. As the kids would say, make a wish. And you can imagine the St. Paul Canadiens are wishing the Cold Lake Ice back off the pressure a little bit, and the Cold Lake Ice are wishing the pressure sustains itself the rest of the way home, and they at least show something, even if they can't win this game, show that Game 5 is going to be a completely different script. Here's Jean-Guy Beauvert in the Cold Lake Ice zone. He tries to avoid 2 guys with 1 puck dump off the board. Doesn't work as he fell down, and Austin Power has it. Power up to Beauvert. Beauvert played off by McIsaac. McIsaac, the much larger man in that battle. And it's fired up and out by Kyle Crawford. Crawford can't get it past Power, and Beauvert will go back to Evan Feehan. Bray Howitt fires a shot, and it doesn't find the front of the net. Feehan's dumped. That's going to be a penalty against McIsaac, actually maybe Crawford. Either McIsaac or Crawford's getting the penalty, and with 10:20 to go in this third period, we may have another Cold Lake Ice power play coming up. Puck on net. Oh, jam miss by Ethan the Rock, and it could have been 6-3 on that stick. This one is all Cold Lake in this third period. They have had the pressure beyond pressure in this one, and now we got a little bit of pushing and shoving between Bray Howitt and Cole McIsaac. Howitt and McIsaac have gone at it all night, and we'll see Cole McIsaac heading to the box. Obviously, they don't want McIsaac messing it up with Bray Howitt before going to the box. They want him to serve his penalty. 6-1 for the St. Paul Canadiens, but man, oh man, the pressure from the Cold Lake Ice in this third period. Let's see what we got on the live dashboard. We got 43 guys watching live. The final 10 minutes in Cold Lake tonight for Game 4 of the Battle of Lakeland, where St. Paul leads it 2-1. Jonah Henderson ducking and dodging and whatever he can to get that puck. You might as well play as many sports as you can in one to try and get the puck in the net right now. Jake Bartman up the ice, able to evade the poke check of Zach Bendel, still evades it. It gets over, and now a chance back the other way. Aaron Gagne, pocket picked by Scott Thackeray. Kuflick, 2 points on the night, right on the tape of Aaron Gagne and down the ice. Danny Cantel will find the puck beyond the net. He'll go up to Jonah Henderson, who will go up the ice. Henderson across, and Thackeray gives chase. Canadiens fire it down, and we have 1 minute to go in this St. Paul Canadiens power play, or penalty, pardon me. Looking at the wrong side of the boards here in Cold Lake. It's all reversed around in St. Paul. Henderson through the middle. He's got Bukta and Schultheis on his wings. Schultheis, a nice little power forward grinder type player that really every team loves to have on when he's on his game. Back to the zone. It's Noah Cook, who will tip it off the stick of Schultheis into Canadiens territory, and it's back into ice territory. It'll go to Noah Cook once again. He'll pitch and catch with Austin Power, who goes up to Donovan Bebo. Bebo, he's had a couple good chances tonight. A little bit of good ice carving out there for Bebo. It'll go up to Noah Cook, who can't get it off the stick of Braden Burak, and Dyson Roy's away with it. Cook battles back and comes up with the puck with 8 seconds to go in the ice power play. 8:09 remains in the third period. It's chipped over to Noah Cook, who's got to rush up the ice. He's been blowing up on a couple of those this series, but he'll turn back before taking contact this time. Colton Buckta behind the net. He's looking for an option. He's got one in Noah Cook. Noah Cook looking across ice. There's Austin Power. Power will blast it on net, but easily off the skate of Dyson Roy. Not easy for Dyson Roy to take it, but easy for him to get it off his skate with the shot that came in. Donovan Bebo up the middle. Can't find a man. Colton Buckta turns it back into the corner for the ice. He's knocked off the puck by Lonsberry, who's seen a lot of ice time tonight. Somehow Austin Power keeps it in. The offside whistles have seemed to go away in this third period, that's for sure. And Donovan Bebo gives a rough ride to Sean Green. Now in comes the St. Paul Canadiens. Dyson Roy shut off. Braden Burak in front. Matt Henwood loses the stick and makes the save. Difficult save for Matt Henwood, of course, trying to focus on having the stick not interfere with it, but at the same time trying to make sure that he makes the save. 6-2 the score remains, 7:13 to go in this third period. We're going to have the media timeout, the winning 50-50 ticket if you're in the building listening to me, for $515. I certainly don't have it. AC 19551. So that is a winning ticket of $515. Not a bad pop for a Wednesday night hockey game in Cold Lake. Take a breather. 7:13 like I mentioned. The referee's talking things over. Linesmen watching things from afar, keeping the benches peaceful. Matt Henwood, solid in relief so far. I told you what to expect out of him in relief in the third period, and so far things have come to fruition. Well, I did say it was going to be a battle of the goaltenders. That did not turn out. Nelson Schiller got shelled in the second period, and it ended up being 6-1 going in, but it's 6-2 now for the St. Paul Canadiens. Jean-Guy Boisvert against Kyle Crawford in the face-off. Brockhoff jams it out. It's down the ice, evades Bray Howitt, and it's going to be an icing call. Mallow gave just enough of a push to get that puck an icing. Crowd uneasy with this one, that's for sure. A 6-2 game in Cold Lake in Game 4 that could potentially put the St. Paul Canadiens up 3-1 after 4 games in this opening round. Battle of Lakeland, the face-off to the Cold Lake ice advantage. Matt Henwood, once again, an easy little save, and now we got Cole Greenwood pushing with Kyle Crawford. As we try and get in there, see what they're saying, and now all of a sudden Kyle Crawford's going with Bray Howitt. Howitt, if you remember last year, Game 4 against Killam, the final game before the Cold Lake Ice were swept, Bray Howitt messed it up with Kyle Sanders. Sanders was a feared man in the NEAJBHL for many years. A tough as nails dude indeed. Bray Howitt goes up to Evan Feehan. Feehan's going to find himself down and clap that one right into the glove, and a chance. Bray Howitt just not on the doorstep at the right time, right place. And the Cold Lake Ice see another chance go by the wayside. 6-2 with 6:40 to go in this second period. Why do I still have 6-1 for the Cold Lake Ice? That doesn't make sense. It is actually 6-2 on the Jonah Henderson marker. Pardon me, not doing my job correctly tonight. Nobody's keeping me accountable. I'm the one who's supposed to keep myself accountable. Denny Cantel fires a shot on net into the glove of, well, that's Michael Davis making the save. And we'll see what's going on. Oh, now we got a little bit of pushing and shoving between Bray Howitt and Cole McIsaac once again. That is indeed what's happening. Cole McIsaac really taking a shining to aggravating Bray Howitt, and right back to you, says Bray. Bray will do just as much as Cole will do it. Both guys love to mix it up for their respective teams. And with that, if you're going to mix it up late in the third period of a 6-2 game, the refs are going to send you to the box for offsetting, roughing minors at least, if anything. 6:21 to go in this third period of play here at Imperial Place tonight. Game 4, well, you know, it's been a difficult one for the Cold Lake Ice. Jonah Henderson sees that puck go. Actually, that's Scott Thackeray. Now it's Scott Thackeray at the point. He'll fire the shot in. And Stephen Kuflick will give chase for the Cold Lake Ice. It's a puck battle along the near side wall. Kuflick into the zone. And oh man, that was beautiful. A good chance, but it hopped the stick of Thackeray. It was right on it. Bounced up, bounced down, and was no longer right on it. Here comes Ari Wood. He's got 2. Could he join Dyson Roy with a hat trick tonight in this one? Puck down the ice. Michael Davis will wave it off as it's going down for an icing. 6-2 for the St. Paul Canadiens.
44, Ray Howitt. 2 minutes for roughing after the whistle. Time of the penalties, 6:20.
So that's the official announcement. McIsaac and Ray Howitt from a few minutes ago, yet roughing after the whistle, offsetting minors, and they'll sit for the next little bit. As there's a big hit by Stephen Kuflick into Nick Clausen along the near side wall at the blue line. What a hit. Kuflick, a smaller dude, but was able to absolutely rock Nick Clausen, who's been rocked twice tonight, once by Noah Cook and once by Stephen Kuflick in this one. Braden Mirak with the puck. He's going to cut in. Ooh, couldn't buy the deflection off of Dyson Roy's skate for the 7th Canadian goal. Scott Thackeray looking to give chase. Kuflick able to battle it out. Kuflick has just come out on fire in this third period. The guy seems to have clicked it on in the second period intermission, as has this entire line. A little bit of miscommunication almost cost Scott Thackeray. He finds it along the near side wall. He'll fire it up, and it's out to Jonah Henderson. Now he's got Ethan LaRock. It's going to be offside. Henderson and Mallow were kind of mixing her up there a little bit, as everybody's kind of picking a partner as to who to pick on in this series, and that's true to form for the Battle of Lakeland, as it should be. Guys are not going to like each other just based on hearing each other in other communities, right? Somebody's friend is somebody's friend, and hey, I'll take that personally. Ethan LaRock loses the puck battle to Zach Bendel. LaRock will take it out and come down the ice with it. Offside. Bryce Schultheis by a mile. I was going to say offside coming, but I mean, it's that obvious that it was going to be an offside. Bryce Schultheis jumped. He took 2 steps too quickly and threw Ethan LaRock offside when he carried it across the blue line. Couple of lines clicking for the Cold Lake Ice, couple of others not so much. Connor Landry out to take the face off against Kyle Crawford. Sean Green, and I believe that will be Cameron Potter for the St. Paul Canadiens on the left wing. As I'm readjusting my mic, pardon me. And we've come, wow. The music cuts out, the crowd's dead. It's Wednesday night in Cold Lake in a 6-2 St. Paul Canadiens game with 4:11 to go in the third period of play. Face off to the right of Michael Davis. Connor Landry. Not really a scramble draw. It was actually won cleanly by Kyle Crawford. Just the Canadiens weren't able to get to it quick enough. And now a little miscommunication. Bailey Lonsberry and Cameron Potter taking each other out. Maybe a little penalty as well. Kneeing coming up, and Bryce Schultheis will head off to the box. So there's maybe why the commotion started. Didn't really catch it. A little bit too fast, too quick for me. So, Cold Lake Ice head to the penalty kill for the next 2 minutes. Really, now they've got maybe 2 minutes to work with to get a third goal after the penalty kill and repeat of game 1. Would not be surprised if that was kind of the script we saw. As we saw 2 close games and another 6-3 game, wouldn't shock me in this, least in this one. Scramble against the boards, everybody's digging in there. Cross checks, poke checks, you name it, you use the stick for it, they are doing it. Aaron Gagne along the near side wall, he'll go back. Now look to double back to the blue line, but cut in. He's going to hop off. He gets dumped by Cole Greenwood, who absolutely rocked him in the shoulder. And Alex Savage goes back down. Gagne not getting really much presence in front of the net. Brendan Brockhoff able to battle him very well. And Aaron Gagne still fighting for it. Gagne is not giving up. And now Cold Lake's going to take another penalty. Are they going to call Cole Greenwood? No, they're going to call Aaron Gagne for a hook. Okay, so it looked like Greenwood cross-checked Aaron Gagne on that play on second thought, but Gagne just getting in there before he cross-checked, obviously, gets the penalty for hooking. Will even it up at, well, 4-on-4 for the next minute 23. And then the Cold Lake Ice will have 37 seconds of power play time to work with and about 2 minutes on the clock. It's 6-2 for the St. Paul Canadiens. Canadiens win the face-off. That was to the right of Michael Davis. It's played up, and Dyson Roy will carry it out alongside the near side wall. He will come out and battle on Denny Cantel. Cantel able to take him off, and Bartman will pick up the puck for the Cold Lake Ice. The Ice have at least another couple of scoring chances should they be able to get it going to get this game within that 6-3 margin where they were comfortable in game 1. Cantel takes a hit, and it will be carried up by Braden Burak. Burak avoids the check from Bray Howitt, who fires it across to Jake Bartman. Bartman carries it up the ice. He's got some speed. He'll fire in a shot, but it's blocked by the assistant captain, Lonsberry, of the St. Paul Canadiens, and the Habs will turn it back the other way. Bevo looking for Beauvert. He gets it. Beauvert sees his shot blocked as I stumble on Beauvert's name. A tricky one. I once called him Jean-Guy Boisvert, and let me tell you, I was very soon after corrected on that one. Jared Mallow picks up the puck after a failed Cold Lake Ice shot attempt, and it's up to Braden Burak, who's turned back by Austin Power. I'm surprised Power didn't go for the hit there. He's rocked Burak a couple times this series. This one's going to go up, and the high ceiling in Cold Lake, that's, I guess, the advantage. You're able to flip it and not touch anything for miles. Jake Bartman carries it in. The penalty to Cold Lake is over, so they have the 5-on-4 power play for the next 24 seconds with 1:45 to go. It's across the Brush Schultz ice. He'll clap in the shot right into the chest of Michael Davis, and Connor Landry will mix it up with Bailey Lonsberry. A little bit of face wash, but that's about it. We'll get the clock in there. Oh man, the other situation, 1:41 to go in this third period. Well, what is almost for certain now a St. Paul Canadiens victory. Series shifts back to St. Paul tomorrow night for game number 5, and then comes back home for the Cold Lake Ice, if you want to call home Cold Lake. And it will be a game 6 on Saturday if necessary at this point. Alex Savage almost steals it at the blue line. Now fed across to Connor Landry. Landry sees it skirt by the net, and Ethan LaRock unable to pick it up. Back to the point, Brennan Brockhoff sees the puck, keeps the puck in, but sees it chipped out by Alex Savage. The boys are laughing on the St. Paul Canadiens. All smiles after, well, what's been a convincing victory, 6-2, with a minute to go in the third period. Connor Landry gives chase to Bailey Lonsberry, who shovels it off to Alex Savage, and Feehan's giving him a rough ride. Turned over to Brockhoff. Brockhoff taking his time to consider what's going on. He'll fire it up to Connor Landry, now to Feehan. Feehan's going to clap again, that half clap. Feehan, I don't know if goalies just can't read it, why he keeps going back to it, but it seems to be a recurring theme with Feehan in that half clapper. Noah Cook goes across to Connor Landry. Landry has to retreat way back into his own zone. And it's turned over to the St. Paul Canadiens. Cameron Potter in front, can't feed Peter Blomberg. Blomberg's been absent from the ice for a little bit. He'll get tripped up. No call coming as the back referee just lets it slide by the wayside. 20 seconds to go. Bailey Lonsberry is going to slow down the pace, carry it up, and let this clock run out. 12 seconds to go. Up to Kyle Crawford. Crawford to LaRock. Well, into LaRock, not really to LaRock. LaRock's on the opposing team. Things could get a little bit messy here if LaRock and Crawford keep battling. But that will be your final, a 6-2 finish for the St. Paul Canadiens over top of the Cold Lake Ice. Hey, you know what I said coming into this third period? A stand-up effort by Matt Henwood not to be beat in this third period again. Still got the shutout going through 2 periods of play in his 2018 NEAJBHL playoffs. I'm Tyson Dolynny. We will catch you tomorrow night for Game 5 in St. Paul, and then we'll talk more then. Signing off one last time from Imperial Place in Cold Lake. Thanks for watching Dolynny TV.